Hi, Paul from Self-Taught Guitar Player. Today I'm going to show you the minor pentatonic scale. We're going to play it in the key of A minor. So we're going to put it at the 5th fret on our low E string. And the cool thing about the scale, I feel like it's kind of the foundation of everything that I do. Everything that you do too. If you play classic rock, blues, hard rock, hair metal, thrash metal, pretty much everything is going to be in either a minor or a major key, so we can use the pentatonic scale to play that. So today we're doing it in A minor, as I said, so we're going to put it at the 5th fret. We're going to align our first finger to the 5th fret, and I think the best way to approach the scale is to assign a finger to a fret. So this scale has 2 notes per string, so we're going to use the index on every string, and then either the 4th finger or the 3rd finger, depending on what the fret is. So if the index lives at the 5th fret, then the pinky will live at the 8th fret, and the 3rd finger will live at the 7th fret. I call this assigning a finger to a fret, and I feel like it's the most economical way that you can finger a scale. The beauty of this scale is that and the beauty of the way the guitar is set up in general, is that it's kind of a shape-based instrument. So if you learn the shape in one position, then it's easy to move it around. There's multiple positions of this scale, but for now we're going to focus on just this first one. So without further ado, let's put our first finger at the 5th fret on the low E string, on the 6th string. That's the fat one, right? And we're going to play the 5th fret with our first finger, and we're going to play the 8th fret with our pinky. So that's our first 2 notes. E string, 6th string, 5th fret, 8th fret. Or pinky, index, pinky. We're going to go to the next string, and we're going to do 1st finger and 3rd finger. So it'll be 5th fret and 7th fret on the A string. We'll move on to the D string, and we're going to play the same shape as we just played on the A. We're going to play 5th fret and 7th fret. So again, that'll be index and then ring finger or 3rd finger, either way you want to look at it. And then we're going to go to the G string. We're going to do the same shape again, 5th fret, 7th fret. So we use 1st finger and 3rd finger. Now, when we get to the B string, we're going to go back to the shape we used on the low E string. We're going to use 5th fret, which is 1st finger, and then 8th fret. So we're going to use our pinky here. And then on the 1st string, the high E string, that'll always be the same frets as the low E string for the scale shapes that we're doing. So that's going to be 5th fret and 8th fret. So that'll be 1st finger and then pinky. So let's do that one more time, starting from the low E string. We've got 5th fret and 8th fret, which is index and pinky. We're doing 5th fret and 7th fret on the A string. So we're going to do we're going to do 1st finger and 3rd finger. We're going to go to the D string. It's going to be the same shape. So index and 3rd finger. 5th fret, 7th fret, right? G string is 5th fret and 7th fret. On the B string, we're going to do 5th fret and 8th fret, so we'll go back to using the pinky again. And then we'll get to the 1st string, the high E string, and we're going to use 5th fret and 8th fret again, so that'll be index and pinky. Now let's come back down it. We're going to do the opposite. So we're going to start on the high E string, we're going to do pinky, then index, so 8th fret, 5th fret. Then we're going to go to the 2nd string, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do pinky, then index, 8th fret, 5th fret. When we get to the 3rd string, the G string, that'll be 7th fret, then 5th fret. So that'll be ring finger, then index. The D string will be the same as the G was. And so that'll be 7th fret and 5th fret. On the A string, we'll have the 7th fret and 5th fret. So that'll be the 3rd finger, then the index again. And then on the 6th string, we're going to have pinky and then 1st finger, 8th fret and 5th fret. So the low E string, the 6th string, the 2nd string, the B string, and the 1st string, we used 1-4, index and pinky 4, right? The A, D, and G strings, we used index and ring finger, 3rd finger. I had a hard time bending my fingers like that. Anyway, so I like to assign a finger to a fret like this. I feel like it makes the shape really easy to learn and memorize and kind of get under your fingers, literally and figuratively. So I'm going to play it again from the low E string, and I'm going to play all the way to the high E string, and actually you play along. We'll do it in 8 notes. So we're going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and I'm going to play it once without you, and then I'm going to have you play it with me. So I'm going to count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So if you got all that, I went all the way to the top of it, to the high E string and back down without stopping. Let's see if we can do this together. I'm going to count a measure of eighth notes and then you come in with me on 1. Ready? Let's play it together now. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now, if you're really new to this and that felt too fast to you, just do it in your own time. Do it really nice and slow, and then, gradually work your speed up and stuff. But I think it's a good idea, to get it where you're playing it evenly like that by counting eighth notes or something, as opposed to going and rushing through it. I also want to point out the fact that I'm alternate picking this, and I think that's a great way to get started alternate picking. If you're a player that uses all downstrokes, this is an excellent scale for implementing alternate picking into your playing, because there's 2 notes on each string, so it's like perfect. And if you pick this in the way that I did, when you're doing the E string, right? We'll close up here, getting close on my picking hand. I'm going down, up, and then I just push the pick into the next string, and I'm going to do the same thing. Now, when I get to the E string, by not repeating the top note, I'm going down, up, down, and then when I come to the second string, the B string, I'm going to pick that with an upstroke, up, down. And I'll just pull the pick back to the G string and do the same thing. Up, down. And the same on the D string. Up, down. And the same on the A. Up, down. And then on the low E string. Up, down again. So that's the entire scale all the way through. Why do you want to know this scale shape? Well, because this gives you the map of the correct notes. To me, this is the framework of everything I play. Even if I'm playing more complicated modal scales and stuff, the pentatonic scale is the basic essence of everything that we do. And it's really easy to get started improvising with it and making great sounds, which is something we're going to talk about in the next lesson. But for right now, we're just going to keep it simple. We're just going to go ahead and just play along with the scale here. So I'm going to count a measure of eighth notes, and I'm going to alternate pick it. You try to alternate pick it with me. Again, if you can't, just play along with me. I'm going to go nice and slow here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Going to the B string, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And just for fun, let's do that one more time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and down, up, 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 down. I started running out of breath in the middle there. But hopefully that gives you the basics of it. And again, you want to get this shape down, because as simple as this shape is, it gives you the map of the right note. And we're going to talk about improvising with it. I'm going to play a little short solo here just to kind of show you. And I'm going to really try to limit myself just to this one position of the pentatonic scale. I'm going to play for just a couple seconds here so you can get an idea of the cool kind of sounds you can make with this scale. Now, I talked about assigning a finger to a fret. Sometimes I'll replace the pinky with the third finger on the B string or the high E string if I'm bending those notes. Again, that'll be something we'll discuss more in another lesson. I just want to keep this one nice and short. So real short improv, and then we're going to end this lesson. So I just wanted to keep that short and sweet. I didn't want to show off. I tried to keep it somewhat simple. It was really hard to kind of hold myself back because I really wanted to start rocking on that track. But so this is an introduction to the pentatonic scale. Again, we played it in A minor, lined up at the 5th fret. A quick review, we're assigning a finger to a fret. We're going to use the alternate picking on there if you can. If you're struggling with the alternate picking, don't worry about it. Just go ahead and just pick all downstrokes for now, but try to get where you're implementing and using alternate picking too. I'll have another session just talking about the alternate picking to make it easier for you. I didn't want to fill this up with too much information. So in the next lesson, we'll talk about alternate picking the scale and the specifics of alternate picking if you need some help with that. Thank you so much for watching. This is Paul from Self-Taught Guitar Player. In the next lesson, I'll talk a little bit more about how to be musical with the scale, and we'll focus more on the alternate picking too if you need some help with that. Have a great day. Thank you so much for watching.